Imagine your sister leaves home for a night out and never returns. 2 months later, her body is found naked, bruised, and dumped in a hotel septic tank. Everyone knows who did it, even the killer confessed. But 13 years later, no one has ever been arrested. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the tragic story of Agnes Wanjiru, a 21-year-old Kenyan mother whose death became a haunting symbol of justice denied and of the dark side of British military presence in Kenya. Before she became a headline, Agnes Wanjiru was just a young woman trying to build a life. Born in 1991 in the quiet Kenyan town of Nanyuki, Agnes was the youngest of 5 children. She grew up in a modest home under the care of her mother, Lydia Wanjiru Kimotho, who raised her children mostly on her own. Those who knew Agnes described her as the kind of person who could light up a room, funny, loud and full of life. Her niece Esther Njoki once said, "We were always laughing because of her jokes. She was kind, she was everything." Agnes went to Deb Primary School, later joining Gakawa Secondary School, where she fell in love with literature and music. She loved to sing, dance and tell stories, always the one to make everyone else smile. After school, she trained as a hairdresser at a local beauty program, finishing her course in August 2011. Her dream was simple: to open up her own salon, make a steady living, and raise her baby girl Stacy, who was just born a few months later in October that same year. Like many young mothers in Nanyuki, Agnes had big dreams but faced small opportunities. Jobs were scarce, and the presence of British soldiers stationed at the BATUK base meant that the town had a strange rhythm. Soldiers would come and go, spending money freely while locals struggled to make ends meet. Agnes sometimes joined her friends at local clubs where soldiers drank, not because she loved the nightlife, but because that's where the money often flowed. She was doing what she could to survive, to buy milk for a baby, to take care of her family. She wasn't a statistic or a case file. She was a daughter, a sister, a mother, and a dreamer. Her story wasn't supposed to end in tragedy, but it did. On the night of March the 31st, 2012, Agnes went out with friends to the Lions Court Hotel. That same night, several British soldiers from the Duke of Lancaster's regiment were drinking there. It was supposed to be just another Saturday night. Instead, it became the beginning of a 13-year nightmare for her family, one that exposed a deeper, disturbing story about foreign soldiers' power and impunity. That night, witnesses saw Agnes talking and laughing with British soldiers. Later, she was seen entering room 52 with one of them, a man later identified in reports as Soldier X. She was never seen alive again. Her family searched desperately. Days turned into weeks. 2 months later, on June the 5th, the hotel gardener, John Gichuki Ndirangu, discovered her body in the septic tank behind the soldiers' lodging. She had been stabbed multiple times and thrown into the tank naked. Her body was so decomposed that forensic experts couldn't confirm whether she had been sexually assaulted. It was a cruel ending to a young life. Robert James Purkiss is a British national from Greater Manchester, born around 1987. Little is publicly known about his early life or schooling, although reports indicate that he joined the British Army without professional academic qualifications. He enlisted in the British Army in 2006 and served in the Duke of Lancaster's regiment as a medic. His military career included postings at UK bases such as Catterick Garrison, Tidworth and Wheaton Barracks, as well as operational tours in Afghanistan. In 2012, he was posted to the British Army Training Unit Kenya, BATUK, where the incident involving Agnes happened. Purkiss left the military around 2016 and currently resides near Salisbury in the UK and works at home as a home computer support technician. He's a father of 2. The shocking part about this is that other British soldiers knew what had happened to Agnes. One soldier claimed that Robert had even shown him the body and told him to keep quiet. Soon after the incident, the regiment flew back to the UK. No arrests were made, no charges, just silence. The UK Ministry of Defence was notified but allegedly did nothing. The case went cold for almost 7 years. In 2019, a Kenyan judge ruled that Agnes was unlawfully killed by one or more British soldiers. The inquest recommended murder charges. Still no prosecution. Then in 2021, a Sunday Times investigation changed everything. Reporters leaked messages from a private Facebook group of the same regiment. Soldiers were joking about her murder, sharing memes about the septic tank, and even saying, "I killed her." Public outrage exploded. Kenyan police reopened the case and several soldiers finally spoke out, naming the suspect as Robert James Purkiss. But even with confessions, witnesses, and international pressure, why has no one faced justice? The answer lies in politics, diplomacy, and power. The case sits at the intersection of two governments and one defense deal. Under the UK-Kenya Defense Cooperation Agreement, Kenya has jurisdiction over local crimes, but in practice, once the soldiers fly back home, the UK controls access to them. Agnes's killer is living freely in the UK. Kenyan police have traveled to Britain, gathered testimonies from over 20 soldiers, and sent a file to the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions. In Kenya, MPs call BATUK, British Army Training Unit, Kenya, a lawless force. In Britain, a military inquiry labels Agnes's death as an exception. But through it all, her family waits. Agnes's niece, Esther Njoki Muchiri, has become the voice of their struggle. She has written to King Charles, protested outside Parliament, and spoken to global media. Her words capture their pain. Agnes was kind, always smiling. She took care of everyone. We miss her every day. They have the power, but they refuse to use it. It's heartbreaking. 13 years later, justice still hasn't crossed the ocean. As of November 2025, the Kenyan government has formally submitted an extradition request to the UK for ex-British soldier Robert James Purkiss, who stands accused of murdering Agnes in 2012, following a Kenyan High Court arrest warrant and more than 24 British soldiers providing testimony. Still, no trial date has been set. Agnes's story is one of pain, persistence, and power imbalance. A young mother full of dreams whose life was brutally cut short, and whose death exposed a pattern of impunity hidden behind diplomacy and military agreements. And now, as legal papers shuffle between offices and politicians' trade statements, her family keeps repeating one thing: Agnes was a human being. She had a heart, she had dreams. We just want justice. Because for them, this isn't just a story, it's a life that was stolen and a fight that still isn't over. If you believe Agnes deserves justice, share her story, because silence only protects the perpetrator, but awareness gives power to the truth. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay kind, and stay aware.